because with the curve, I think I could do that fairly easily.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Unity. I've missed you guys. This is Max Moreau, and with me is Jeffrey Hawthorne, and not with me is Philip. He may be in later, though he may not. He's been worked hard lately, and hopefully he will get it out early enough to actually join us. But if not, we will live on without him and do this in his honor. So, let's get right down to business. So first off, I want to throw a shout out, and I want to apologize to Owen that I didn't give more of a heads up on this. I've been busy lately with a bunch of different things, and Frank and John is a project that a friend of mine is working on, and he has 30 hours left in this thing, and it's not even halfway there yet. But man, if you guys can push this, let's push it. I feel really bad that I didn't get more information out on this game earlier.
Look who it is!
Oh, Phil's here! Phil is here! Alright, yay! So, that's awesome. You sound very enthusiastic. Alright.
It's been a long day.
I'm sorry, dude. But anyway, Kickstarter, Frank and John, check it out. I wish I could have gotten more coverage earlier. I've had kind of weird schedule lately. I was visiting in-laws on the East Coast, and then additionally, I lost my job again. So there's that. But yeah, so this is made by a friend of mine. He's someone who's been watching Cooking with Unity for a while. He is a teacher and also a game developer, and he's super awesome. And
Very cool.
And so yeah, and this is a cool game. It's like Dynamite Headdy meets isometric Zelda game. I don't know. It's a cool game. Check it out. All right, now that pitch is over, let's see what we got here. Oh, you brought a computer and everything?
And everything, yeah.
Wow. Thanks.
Yeah,
Man, you sound drained.
yeah, I am.
I'm sorry, dude. But yeah, but we're happy to have you.
What time did we start?
Just now, so we started at
wow.
9. So if you need to leave early or something to sleep or
I
anything,
may do that.
we won't be offended anyway.
I might be a little offended.
All right, well, I won't be offended.
Okay.
The audience may be. I can't speak for them, so they get
I
offended
can.
easily. You can?
Yeah.
You speak for the audience?
Yeah,
I guess that's kind of true in a
Speak
way.
for the
That's kind of your
people.
job.
yeah.
So where were we? So last time we were working our space game, and we made this abomination.
Wait, what are we doing?
You probably haven't seen this, so
No, I had seen
Oh,
that.
this.
okay, you
Yeah.
had seen this, yeah. So we have a laser that's continuously on that kind of shoots off ugly particles. The laser itself is also very ugly, and we have this ornate capital ship. I mean box.
You mean
The
capital box?
Capital box
rectangle?
is a capital rectangle, and we can fly, and we don't really have any rules as for collision. Like I can just fly right through this thing, and it doesn't even care. And but we did get gimbal lock free rotation. We have actually the ability to rotate in any direction, and we won't run into a situation where the directions stop doing what we wanted. So that's good.
So we got that going.
We
for
got
us,
that going for us.
which is nice.
Yes. That's Caddyshack, right?
Yeah.
That's a good movie. All right. So first off, what we should do. So right now we have left, right, up, and down for pitch and yaw. I want to add roll real quick because I like to be able to reorient myself without having to do this like circular, like, oh, I'm off center. Well, I gotta wax off a few times to, there we go.
Are
to
you
get
gonna
back on
add
center.
0 as well?
Probably.
Rock?
Probably not 0 or lock because we're even though we're in a
Rock.
rock. Wait, rock?
Yeah, you're gonna add roll.
Oh, roll and rock
0.
and 0, yes, and blues and yeah,
Yep.
and bass,
Yep.
bass.
Yeah, I had to make the
All right.
obvious Mega Man joke.
So or not so obvious.
Yeah, probably not so obvious.
All right.
Obvious to me.
What am I doing? So
I
what were we gonna do? Oh yeah, I
Roll.
wanted to do roll. Thank you. See, that's why you get paid the big bucks. Actually, no one gets paid the bucks. So
The books
vertical.
are paid.
So donate to Cooking with Unity.
Yeah. All right. So we added thrust last time. That's nice. So we're gonna do something similar here, except for I'm gonna duplicate the. Let's duplicate the horizontal actually, let's duplicate the vertical one. Duplicate, and we're gonna call this
What do I use?
roll. And I'm gonna use the old simulator ones of left caret or comma, as it is if you're not holding shift, and right caret or period. Like that. This was like the popular thing to put roll on in flying games back in the day, just because it has things that look like arrows, and you'd already run out of all the other arrows. So,
Really?
well, yeah. You haven't run into that before, or
I don't know.
you don't
been a
know?
while.
It's been a while, yeah. So we've got roll.
Is that back when the arrow keys were the thing to use?
Yeah, well, honestly, in most space shooters, they always were. Like, they kind of didn't go, because, like, they expected you to, they're like, yeah, you could use the arrow keys, but they expected you to have a joystick. And, but they didn't get into the WASD stuff because it didn't really make as much sense on the shooters. As a matter of fact, it was very common for A and Z to be accelerate and decelerate, which is actually how we set it up in this project, and I'm sticking with those type of controls. So, this one, oh yeah, how does all this work? So we rotate twice, one spaced on the vertical, one spaced on the horizontal. I guess we can just add one for the roll. There's probably a more efficient way of doing this, but this will work just fine for our purposes. So the roll, we're going to be adjusting. So vertical is transform up, so that means that we're looking towards up based on the vertical. And then we have to get the upward vector from that. And then we're going towards right. So what we'd want to be doing is towards... Oh, wait. I don't even know.
You don't even know.
I don't even know.
I also
guess
do not know.
Transform.up would... I'm not adding roll.
Forward.
I'm not adding roll right now.
It would be transformed forward, I think.
So you'd want to be moving towards forward? Oh, yeah, that's right. But then you'd want... Okay, so what this takes is look rotation takes... So...
Excuse me.
So what are we doing here? Hold on. Rotate towards is quaternion.
There is an easier way,
rotate.
isn't there?
Is there?
Is there?
What's the... Oh, rotate?
Yeah, so quaternion from, quaternion to...
Or is there... Well, rotate uses quaternion, right?
Yeah. Alright, so from to... Alright, so yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. We want forwards. So we want transform dot forwards. And then this one we want to actually be, I think, transform dot right. Let's see what this does anyway. And we're going to say get axis, what do we call it, roll. This may not work, and if it doesn't work and doesn't look like it's going to be easily salvaged, I'm going to abort on this. That looks right, except for it's the opposite directions. So first I just want to make sure that I don't have it set to opposites here. I don't think I do. Oh, I do. Invert. Uncheck that. Sweet, first try.
Make sure there's no kind of weird gimbal rotate.
Yeah, all right. So I'm going to go up here. We're going to rotate right. It looks like things are going right. I'm pressing a whole bunch of buttons now. Whoa, that was weird. Oh, I know what's happening there. We've got our particles on loop. So when they they occasionally regenerate stuff. Also, they never delete themselves right now. So we just create like this gigantic list of particle clones.
That
We were
seems
wondering
pretty
why
horrible.
Unity was taking up so much memory.
Yeah. All right, well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. So what actually happened here, look rotation, remember what we're doing is we're basically rotating towards a goal vector. And what we're choosing as the goal vector, or sorry, not goal vector, but goal quaternion. So in the case of vertical, we're transforming so that we're pointing towards up, which points naturally our upward vector at negative transform forward. And then this one we're pointing to the right, but we want to keep the transform up the same. And this one we're pointing forward, but we want to actually change the vertical into the transform.right direction, which if you negative that, it becomes transform.left. So basically, if this returns positive, we roll right, and if it returns negative, we roll left. All right. So now that we got roll, right now we have this laser that's on at all times, and it's kind of awful. Let's make this less awful. First off,
should make the particles clean themselves.
Yeah,
up.
let's do that. So we're going to create a quickie script called kill particle when done. Probably more words I need, but... And all we're going to do on this is, in our update loop, if particle system dot is playing, so if it's not playing, then we destroy game object. Whoops. Whoa there, MonoDevelop. Likes to give me a lot of words. So that should just compile, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our prefab, and we're going to go to laser hit particle. And first of all, looping's already off. Interesting. Wonder why it was looping then. Well, anyway, this will probably fix it. So
worry about that.
We're going to attach kill particle when done to this. Yeah. Kill particle when done. There we go. And so now if we hit play again, we'll get all these little particles and they'll all shoot out, and then once they're done playing, they should clean themselves up. There they go. It looks like they're done playing far earlier, and that's just because of the settings that we have on this, but basically
we could fix that.
Yeah, we could fix that, but their duration is 5 seconds, so basically it'll take 5 seconds for the full cleanup process to go. No, it's still... What is going on there? Okay, now there's none of them. Huh.
Something is happening. It's going terribly wrong. But we just don't quite know what that is yet.
Huh. Why does it splash out particles again sometimes? Alright. Bug to fix later. Alright, so now let's make it so that this thing isn't continually on. We'll make it so that it can be toggled continually on, but we'll actually just make it so that it's not on by default. So we've got this laser, and it's got this laser cannon script already on it, so that's nice. Let's click on that and see what we got here. So right now it does all this cool stuff. We're going to say if input.get button fire1. We'll put all this in there, and then else line renderer dot enabled equals false. And what we're going to do is I'm going to make sure that in here we enable it as well. True. So now in theory, when we hit, and we don't want to get button, get button. So if we do get button, it'll work like a toggle. So if you're holding down the button, it'll do stuff. If you're not holding down the button, it won't do stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and change this button from control. It defaults to control, but I want to have it in space. So I'm going to put it on space. Whoops, space. I typed a space, and I don't think that's actually how it works. And then we're going to default this laser cannon to not be on, or the line renderer to not be on, rather.
Why not?
So now when we hit play, if we hold space, there we go, we got our laser, and when we release it goes away, and it does the things we expect it to do. Yay. So now it doesn't have to spew awful particles just when we look at anything. Because that would be what it would be like to be Superman when he was growing up.
Or Cyclops.
Or Cyclops, yes. Terrible, terrible fate. Luckily, his eyelids are incredibly good at keeping those lasers in, so...
Cyclops?
Yeah.
That's because he's a goody-goody.
Oh. Is that... Why?
No.
Is that canonical? Okay.
No,
All right.
but he is.
He is, yes. So that's what we got so far. That's nice.
We should make Collision.
Make it so we can't fly through things?
Yeah.
That may be tricky,
Well,
but we should do it, I agree. Alright, so what do we have so far for our character? So right now, our character is a camera that naturally has no collision whatsoever.
those particles don't get re-enabled because they go off screen while they're still playing.
I swear that's what it looked like it was doing. That you saw me doing that test there, like when I was shooting and just being like, and then I was like, I go like this, and then it seemed like they came back somehow, but they
Yeah,
did
you were
that
going
time.
back and
happen
forth.
again.
Yeah, see, it looks like they're all of a sudden
It's
shooting
like
off.
they're restarting when you look back at them.
That's so weird.
There's no setting that says something like that? Like, is there some weird culling setting that's happening?
I don't know.
'Cause that's all I could think of.
You know, I mean, I'm not doing anything fancy here other than kill particle when done, and then having a particle itself.
I'm wondering if there's some like kind of optimization then within Unity that if a particle's not on screen.
Yeah, but you'd think that it wouldn't, like, suddenly start playing again. Like, I don't know.
Maybe it resets its state.
I'm going
for
to try
some reason.
changing it to world simulation space and see if it solves the problem. I don't see why it would, but I'm just curious because it shouldn't look any different the way that we've set up the particles. And actually, we'd probably want it to be world simulation anyway.
Not seeing it happen.
It
Well,
doesn't
let's keep
necessarily
it
mean
like
that it fixed it, but let's keep it and we'll see if we see it again. All right, so collision. So right now our thing is just a camera floating through space with this magic laser that turns itself on when you hit spacebar. So what we want to do, and the way we're currently moving things is we've got two scripts on here. We've got Omni Rotate and Forward Movement. Forward Movement just takes our thrust keys and adjusts our position by it. And Omni Rotate is what actually gives us our rotation and heading. So our problem with Forward Movement is it's doing this in a non-physical way, which may still work if we don't want to have physical simulation, but honestly, this is a game where we're probably going to want to have physical simulation to a certain extent, even if it's not pure Newtonian. What I mean by pure Newtonian is basically in space, there's no friction. If you thrust into direction or start rotating, you will continue to rotate or thrust. You will continue to rotate or move in that new direction forever until you do something else.
In space, no one can hear you drag.
Yes, exactly. They cannot because there's.
Well, yes, if you enter
Yeah.
a gravity well, you'll
Yeah,
start
you'll. I
changing.
mean, like if you're affected by external or thrust forces, you will change. But like undisturbed in the void, you'll be continued to moving. So I don't want to do that much. I want to do more like a free space type game where it's like, for whatever reason, your craft comes to a halt when you set it to zero. It just stops relative to
That
all other
doesn't make
objects.
sense.
It doesn't make any sense, and you would have to have it relative to something in the world. But I mean, like we usually do this. But I also want it so that like if we hit something or get hit by something, I don't want to just like shake the screen and do a hit. We could do that. But I think it would be better if we like take an impact. You'd want it to actually like impact you and move you a little bit, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
So let's give this thing a rigid body. And let's give this thing a... we'll do a sphere collider for right now. And we're actually going to use the rigid body stuff, so we're going to have to change the way that we do forward movement. And What else? The rotation stuff probably doesn't need to change. Or does it? Let's try it this way. So let's do. I'm going to duplicate forward movement here, Command D or Control D if you're on Windows, and we're going to call this thrust movement. And we're going to rename it here, thrust movement. And this one, instead of just setting a speed and moving our transform by that amount, we're actually going to adjust our physics. We're going to apply forces, and so that our ship does stuff when you're thrusting. So, yes, fixed update, update.
I know.
And what we're going to do, instead of
Thrusting.
adjusting transport position, we're going to change this to, instead of saying speed, we're going to call this force. And we're going to adjust okay, first of all, we want to go back to our main camera thing. And we want this to not use gravity. But we're not going to make it kinematic this time. This is going to be legit. So,
Is
it
the
gonna be
rectangle still in the
2?
scene? Because we don't want that on gravity either.
oh, good point. I don't think that it has a... Yeah, it just has a collider right now.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be fine.
Now, don't want to push it around.
Yeah, let's not for right now. We might play with that in a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to, instead of doing transform position, we're going to do rigid body dot add force, and the force will be transform dot forward times force times time dot delta time. And what else? Oh yeah, and we want to put our axis in there too. So times input dot get axis thrust times time dot delta time. And there's a force mode here. What would probably be the most appropriate is acceleration. That way we don't have to worry about the weight of the craft. We just apply a force to it and it will always be similar no matter how much they weigh. Speed does not exist in the current context. Of course it does not.
Why not?
Because that whole line is old and we don't need it anymore. So,
Just because something's old doesn't mean you don't need it anymore.
fine. I'm going to remove this forward movement, and I'm going to put on thrust movement. And what we're going to change on here, we'll try force 10 and see how it goes, and then
Triforce.
so right now there's no drag. We're going to want to make a pretty high drag because you'll see how hard it is to control this thing in a moment. But if we hit play right now and we hit thrust, we start thrusting. And right now it's Newtonian, so like we will continue moving in that direction forever, very slowly creeping in that direction. And
Well, we're
if
speeding
you
up, it looks like. No, we aren't.
no, we're just doing this. Now, if we thrust in such a way that we start hitting something, we should bounce off of it. Deflect. There we go. We're deflecting, and we're rotating. And it looks like we can still do this, but it doesn't actually affect... So this is why we may have to change the rotation stuff. I actually don't want to change the rotation stuff because I want this to be a little bit more arcadey. So I'm going to just make it so that we freeze the rotation. So in theory, we can bump into something now and it won't actually send us spiraling.
Theoretically.
Yeah. Or maybe we could just... Maybe it would be better not to freeze the rotation, but instead just apply a whole lot of angular drag. I'm holding the A button the whole time here, so our acceleration is way too slow, and also its acceleration, which is awful. Am I going to hit it? Or am I going towards it? I think I'm going towards it. Oh, I'm going to miss it. Bye-bye. Alright. So first of all, let's really make these a little bit beefier thrusters. See how awful this can get real quick. Alright, bounced off of it. Yay. It didn't affect my rotation. Yay.
Yay.
I think I am going to actually do the drag technique. I'm going to just bring the drag up to like 0.5, and I just want to see what happens when we hit this thing. Because I'm just going to put thrust like that, and then there, we spin around a little bit, and then we come to a stop. Alright, I'm going to make it 1.
No, things are moving fast now.
Two. Yeah, I like that. That felt good. All right. It's not going to interrupt our gameplay. It feels like a physical effect happened, but then it doesn't act like a real rotation scenario. If you've ever played with what is that game called? Kerbal Space Program, you'll know about the difficulty of keeping things from rotating when you don't want them to be rotating.
Yeah, it's difficult.
So we don't have any drag right now. I'm going to actually apply some drag as well, and we're going to make it so. How do we want to do this? We should probably limit the maximum speed. So we apply force.
How do we want to do that?
I don't know. Probably the old-fashioned way. Just normalize and set equal. Yeah. All right. So let's add some more stuff to this thrust movement stuff. So right now we're doing this force thing. Let's put a public float maximum maximum velocity. And let's see.
How is the movement button connected to the force being added?
So the movement button right now is multiplied in there. So when I'm holding A, it effectively is doing 1.0 times.
Axis?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
That's right. It's one of those analog.
yeah. Negative 1 to 1. So I can actually go backwards as well. I didn't test that, but in theory,
Today, an awkward
when we hold
script
back,
names thrust movement.
yeah. Did someone say that?
Yes.
Excellent.
Should time.delta time be time.fixed delta time?
No. The reason being is time.delta time will automatically be time.fixed delta time. And so
Well, that's
if
rude.
you are Unity recommends as a best practice to always use time.delta time, because that way if you're like, oh, I just changed it and I don't need fixed update anymore, and you do this, you don't completely destroy your work and wonder why everything's behaving very differently, because all of a sudden you're using fixed delta time in a regular update loop. So fixed delta time in an update loop, bad. Time.delta time in a fixed update loop, totally fine.
Then why is fixed delta time a thing?
Probably because there was probably a point where it didn't automatically do that for
Aha.
you. And then they decided to do it, and then they didn't deprecate the old call. Also, there probably are times when you actually want to know how long it is between physics ticks, even when you're
Oh, yeah,
not
that's a good
inside of
point.
the fixed update.
That makes sense.
And this doesn't have much meaning inside of a fixed update in the opposite scenario, so they just macroed it in.
Makes sense.
So, maximum velocity, let's do, 300 is probably way too high, but especially with our test scenarios here. Let's actually just make it 50 for right now. And what we're going to do is, after we apply our forces, we're going to go into rigid body dot velocity, and we're going to set it equal. No, we're not going to set it equal to this. Sorry. We're going to have an if statement. If rigid body dot velocity is dot magnitude. We'll start with magnitude, and we'll change it to square magnitude in just a moment. Is greater than maximum velocity. Then we will set rigid body dot velocity equals rigid body dot velocity dot normalized times maximum velocity.
Okay.
So what this means, so we're working with vectors here. Velocity is a vector. It represents the direction. It has direction and magnitude. The direction is the direction that we're traveling, and the magnitude is the speed that we're traveling in that direction. So, and I just realized I'm using all these hand gestures, and you
But
guys
no
didn't
one
see
can
any
see
of it.
hand gestures.
So let me actually bring up hand gestures.
I can see hand gestures.
Yeah, I know, but I'm gonna do it so that just in case. So where are my hands? I don't know how to use my hands. Okay, somewhere in this range. Okay.
Right in front of your face.
So so it has direction and it has magnitude, the length, and that's the direction we're going. And so if the magnitude is greater than our maximum velocity, that means that we're traveling in a direction faster than we want to be traveling. So at that point, we take this vector, we normalize it, which means that no matter how long it is, after we're done normalizing it, it will still point in the exact same direction, but will be of length 1. So this magnitude will be 1. And then we're going to multiply the maximum velocity into it, which means that we're capping our velocity to the maximum. So basically, if we're above the maximum velocity, we are now at the maximum velocity. Does that make sense?
I think so.
So, so I'm going to just try this real quick and see how things feel for a moment. So I think we're accelerating too slowly for max velocity to really feel right. Is there a way for me to even tell how fast we're going? No. So let's find out how fast we're going. Let's do a on GUI here. Void on GUI. GUI layout. No, layout dot label velocity magnitude, and then we do plus rigid body dot velocity dot magnitude. So now we'll know what's actually happening here.
Semicolon.
Oh, thank you. Semicolon.
No, you don't need those.
Then why do I always get asked for them? So now it says velocity magnitude, and now we'll actually see how fast or slow we're accelerating. So we're accelerating too slow to actually really fully appreciate if we're going to be going faster than a particular velocity, but I'm going to just stick with it. I shouldn't stick with it. I should have hit stop. But now we're so far into it that who cares?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so... and that's not a good sign. Yeah, that's not a good sign. That generally means that whatever we did not work.
Because it just keeps going.
Yes. So if velocity dot magnitude is greater than maximum velocity,
If you multiply the maximum velocity by the normalized vector, then each of the let's see. I think if you multiply it, unless it's along an axis, isn't it going to be above?
no, I think this is right. But I don't know why it's not working right.
Madness.
I'm going to try something just for the fun of it. I'm going to see what happens if we check this earlier in the fixed update and then apply our force. I don't know why that would work better, but...
Sometimes it's just the way it works.
Alright, and we have thrust movement on this, so I'm not like kidding myself, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to first make the force much higher so that we can get up to speed faster. There we go.
Whoa.
Yep, we still have a problem.
Yeah, it's no moon.
All right, so... Oh, maximum velocity is 300. That might be the reason.
Why don't we get up to 300?
All right, well, fine, now that we probably can. I
Stay
should
on
just...
target.
Yeah.
Almost there. Almost there.
Yay! Okay, it's working. Mostly. I mean, we can push up a little bit past, but actually we can probably fix that by moving this back where it was. So
I would think so.
I would think so too. I'm not 100% sure though, but I would
try
think
it
so.
again.
So let's try it again. Except for this time, I'm going to cap it at 50 so that we
What?
can get there faster.
That's unfortunate.
Ah,
Yeah, you hit a wall.
Literally.
okay. So it still is allowing us a little
Still
bit of
fighting a little bit.
leeway. That's fine. If people can get a little bit of extra speed. So now I want to turn around and we can go here. So now if we were doing a Newtonian physics game, we're already kind of in that process. But like, there's a lot more UI that you need in those type of games. Like, we would need a direction vector that shows where we're traveling in space relative to our facing. And actually, there's a coolness to this. Like, you can like do strafing runs and stuff. You can basically effectively strafe by using Newtonian physics and stuff. So there's something to be said about that. We might even do some sort of hybrid approach. I was a big fan of the Wing Commander series, and I forget when they introduced it. I think it was Wing Commander 3. Some of the craft had the ability to actually... It might have been 4. But some of the craft had the ability to actually turn on a Newtonian mode. So basically, like, you would fly and it would be very assisted, but then you could just hit a button and you would continue traveling whatever direction you were in, so you could rotate and start shooting people, which is cool. I think they also did that for the Free Space 2 mod based on Babylon 5. Not Babylon 5. Sorry. Based on Battlestar Galactica, the new one, which is a good pack. You should try that out if you have Free Space 2 and you have about 6 hours to figure out how to set it up. It's awesome. So what are we doing? So let's add some drag so that we decelerate. And right now, how fast is the acceleration? That's good. I actually like that. That's feeling pretty good. So I don't know exactly what this represents. Maybe it's just units per second. So let's see what happens if we put a drag of 1 and then we release. Oh, that goes down real quick. Also really affects our acceleration. Why is it non-linear like that? Going to learn things about drag today, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So if we set this like 0.5. Wow. It's like completely fighting our acceleration.
Yeah, it is.
Alright, so that means we're going to cheat.
Are we?
Why not? I'm going to set it back to 1 because I liked how fast it decelerated. Actually, how fast do we get to speed? 1001, 1002, 1000. Well, it's not going all the way to speed, but 1001, 1002, 1003. Yeah, I kind of like that. So what I'm going to do though is if we are... So if input.getAxis thrust does not equal 0.0f, then we do all of this cool stuff. Actually, wait. We want to do this no matter what. And in the meantime, we're going to do rigid body dot drag equals 0.0f. And at the start here, I'm going to do void start. We're going to create a private float original drag, and original drag equals rigid body dot drag. And so now we can adjust the drag so that else rigid body dot drag equals original drag. So it ignores drag if we're thrusting, and if we're not thrusting, it resets it. And what else? Oh yeah, I was gonna do one other thing here. Let's first see how this feels real quick. So we accelerate, we can accelerate really fast, it's awesome, we're going like 50 units, and we can kind of like
unit?
slide around their meters.
Oh.
And we can like power slide, but we have kind of non-Newtonian, and we stop, it actually like slows down, and yeah, cool.
Pretty neat.
I like it. So we got partial Newtonian. We're kind of cheating on it. And if we run into something, we actually get propelled, so that's cool.
You're creating a warp bubble to cut down on drag so that you can go 50.
Yes,
50
exactly.
Are you
meters
trying?
per
Are you trying to
second or
legitimize
whatever.
this?
Yes, it's our G diffuser or something.
What?
Something's wrong with the G diffuser.
Who needs to be able to go the speed of light when you can use it to cut down drag to go nominal speeds?
Exactly.
Wait, what?
Using technology to our advantage since forever. All right. So while I'm here, though, I want to do one quick optimization. So we've done this before. I wanted to set it up in the normal way first, because I typically just immediately start optimizing this, and I just wanted you to just understand what the normal way and what the hot awesome way is. So we're going to create a private float square maximum velocity. And the reason we're doing this is because in the operation of doing a magnitude check, we're actually incurring a square root, which is expensive computationally, and I'd prefer to avoid that if we can. And so the way we're going to avoid it is by making it so that we have a target square maximum velocity that is calculated at the start, which means I'm going to put a little note here that says does not live update. We might even work something around to actually do that, but we're not going to right now. So square maximum velocity equals maximum velocity times itself. So now we can now check instead of magnitude, we can do square magnitude, where square magnitude, because of the way the calculation comes out to find out the magnitude, it doesn't have the square root involved. And then we compare that to our square maximum velocity. And then we set it as is. This is actually how we want to do it. Yes, that will do. So this will save us a little bit on the computations. Not a whole lot, but it's something, and it's one of those things that we're actually doing potentially, well, not every frame, but at least every fixed update. So right now I'm holding backwards to fly backwards from this thing, and kind of playing around with the physics a little bit. So bam, yeah. We bounced off of it and stopped. It was awesome. And we can shoot still. We can still go... Bzzz. Yeah, we can still like do that.
So now, rectangular mesh deformation for the collisions.
Okay, no, not right now.
Yeah, no.
Let's not do that. Let's not open that can of beans just yet. Let's make our laser less pink, though. I'm kind of done with the pink. So the reason that it's pink is because currently it has no material. So, do we have some materials already? Yeah, we've got some materials. What's this trail material? That sounds useful now.
Should have it randomize the color every time you shoot.
Okay, we can do that. Alright, so let's just do create new material. I'm going to call it laser.
Is that with a Z or an S?
I'm going to go with the S this time.
Laser?
Laser. The actual spelling.
Not laser.
So I'm going to throw ahead, put this on here.
Gonna go ahead and throw it on there.
Do they have colors in this already?
I think it's on the material.
Yeah, I think it is too. But I wanted to just make sure that there wasn't an easy one there.
No.
All right, so what we're just going to do is we're going to make this, I think additive would probably be appropriate. So let's do particles, additive, and let's see how it looks just with a color. Let's just pick a nice red or something.
Okay.
What is parameters on the line renderer?
Parameters. Oh, there's the colors. So yeah, it does have color.
No, you
That
could have
worked.
just done that.
All right, I like that better actually because
I do too.
it means that we don't have to change the material, which means that I think it saves us on draw calls. Not that we're gonna have a whole bunch of these lasers, but you know, you never know. So let's just change the start color and end color in here. So let's just see if it works real quick. I'm gonna set it to red and see if we get red. Okay, so yeah, we did start at red. You can see it really quickly turns to white, but yeah. So if we did red on both sides, I'm sure it would. And it'll probably be a little bit light right now because I'm doing it as an additive material. Maybe that's not the best choice. Yeah, that might not be the best choice.
It's transparent though.
Yeah, and it's actually better than transparent. It's transparent without having to be resorted. So that's the nice thing about additive because it doesn't actually have to know what's in front or behind on those. I don't think, or maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
You can be crazy and be right about that.
Yeah, this is true. All right, let's just go with unlit. Actually, no, sorry. Self-illuminating vertex lit. Okay, that didn't take the color okay, though. So
I think it's
I
because
don't like
the
that.
material is white.
I think it has something to do with the material that I used. Like vertex self-illuminating might be a problem.
Why don't we just try regular diffuse and see what the...
All right, regular diffuse. Oh, wait, why
Yes,
is it?
because the material's white, probably.
But then why was it working before with the additive?
It was probably light pink because of the white with the additive.
But why is it just
I do not know.
not?
What is it that you actually want?
I wanted to
The color.
pay
The
attention
solid
to the
color?
colors there.
So go back to additive, but make it opaque.
Well, it was opaque, or maybe it wasn't. Okay, let's find out.
No.
Yeah,
Still pink.
Oh, okay.
it's additive.
Change it to
So
Try changing it to a darker
what's the
color.
other particle.
just to see what this does. Or did you mean in the other
Yeah,
thing?
That's what I meant.
So now it's so dark it doesn't actually render anything because it's additive.
Nah,
So
nah.
why does
what
diffuse
if you
not
take it
get
down
the
all the
color
way?
though?
What if you make it completely transparent as additive?
I don't think that additive even. I think that the calculation it uses is source color, destination color 1.0. It doesn't even use alpha channel.
Ay.
So I want to just check something real quick. Line renderer unity color. So the line color start and end, but change color end game. Let's see. Shader that uses vertex color such as the particle shaders. Okay, so it has to use vertex color. So I think we're just not going to use these. We're going to actually
Oh,
just
you
change
don't
the
have a
material.
material on the... Or you don't have a texture on the... You could use the particle and then actually put the particle texture on there.
Yeah, yeah. I think I want to do self-illuminated, vertex lit, and then we'll just adjust the color here, and we will make sure that it doesn't have a shininess to it. So I want to just shoot real quick. So if we adjust the main color to like red, it should be a deep red. Yep. And specular color won't come into play except for at certain angles. Do we have a light in the scene? I'm not going to worry about it for right now, though. I wish there was one that didn't have specular whatever. Actually, maybe we can just make it transparent. Not sure if that'll actually work.
You never know.
Whatever, we'll try that. So, but what we're going to do is... we're going to make it so that this flashes colors. So all I'm going to do is we're just going to do it the short and simple way. We're going to do laser material. So if we're firing, we're going to do renderer dot material dot color equals random. Actually, is there a color random? I don't think there is. New color random dot value random dot value, and random dot value. Oh, and 1.0f. Save. So if we hit play now, we have a very pastel disco laser. Now, if you want it to be less pastel, we can actually do that, although I'm going to cheat and use some code that we can find online. We're going to search for HSB color unity. What this is hue, saturation, brightness color construct, so that you can convert from an HSB description to a RGBA description. Hue, saturation, brightness is where you adjust the hue angle, and then you adjust the brightness of it, and so we can keep the brightness at a set value, and then have a different color. We've used this on our show before. It's a really good little script to have in any project that is going to be doing anything with color, because this is actually much more closely to how we care about color versus RGB, which is just how we happen to compose color on screens. So we're going to create so this comes as a script that's just copy and paste from the internet. So we have to create our own little script for it. We're going to go scripts,
RGB
create
gets no love.
C# script. We're going to call this HSB color. I think that's what they called it, so that way we don't have to rename things. And we're going to, I'd hit Command A, but it's not going to work. We have to select all. It may work for other people, but on my computer it does very strange things I don't even want to know about. And then we paste it in. So Command V or Control V, or you can go to the Edit Paste menu or whatever. And so this just adds some stuff that we can use, HSB color structs and stuff. So so what this means is now, if we want to, we can go into our laser cannon, and instead of setting it to a new color, we're instead going to do a new HSB color. And we're going to describe it as random.value for the color hue. We're going to set it to 1.0f for the saturation and 1.0f for the brightness. So this will be just the brightest of the brights. And then we're going to immediately convert it into a color, to color. Because an HSB color is not what it expects here. It expects a color, and to color converts between HSB color and the standard Unity color struct.
You use that color too many times, and now it sounds funny to me.
Okay, well, it is funny. It's also spelled differently in different cultures. So. And it says it doesn't like what I did. It's not contain a constructor that takes 3 arguments. HSB There's an HSBA. What do you mean there's not one that takes 3 arguments? There's totally one that takes 3 arguments. Alright, so let's look at HSB color real quick.
They're talking crazy to you?
Evidently. So, HSB. And then it sets them. This doesn't seem like rocket science. Oh, it's a struct, though. Do we use new for structs? Maybe we... No, we do. I think we do.
I can't remember.
I mean, we use it for vector 3s, and those are structs. I don't believe you.
Do you have to put parentheses around the new keyword with the... Because you're adding the function at the end, is it parsing it wrong?
Oh, maybe.
And doing the 2-color before the
Yeah, it's
new?
possible. Let's actually try this. We'll do HSB color color equals new HSB, and then we will just do color dot 2color. Let's see what that does. HSB. Okay, we got a different one. Does not contain a constraint. No, that's the same one.
Color to color encode?
HSB color. I swear that I have a thing called HS. Did we not save this? We didn't save this.
That would probably be a problem.
Yeah, that would be. That's gonna. Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, problem solved. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. Though the other would have worked just fine too. I'm just gonna leave this. Save. Play. Now we should have a super bright laser. Yes.
It cycles too quickly.
Cycles too quickly?
I think it should just only cycle when you press the button once. So like it picks a random
Okay.
color and then you
We
press it
can
again
do
and
that.
it picks another random color.
So, what we will do is we will just do this not when we're firing. We will do it here instead. This technically is picking colors constantly in the background, but
Yeah,
effectively, there's a color, there's another color, there's another color.
Yep, that works.
Pew pew pew. All right.
It doesn't make that sound though.
Pew 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 pew. It's making it right now.
Is
Pew pew
that
pew pew pew.
else? Is the else on a get button?
Yeah, it's just when you're not firing, it's selecting colors randomly forever.
Maybe you should change that to get button up.
Yes, that would be better. All right, so what we're gonna do is
The whole else, because you only need to set enable to false when you're releasing it the first time.
wait, the whole else.
You don't need to set
Oh,
enable
I
to
see.
false every.
I see
Yeah,
what you're
that's
saying.
true.
Yeah,
That's
why
true.
not? All right.
You could do a get button.
If input dot get button up fire 1. Put that stuff back in. Let's see
You
if
could
it
do a
still
get button down
behaves how we expected.
for enable true also, because it's setting it to true every time. Or it's enabled.
Yeah,
making sure
it
it's enabled.
really does not matter. Like, this line costs so little. It's like one of the fastest operations is just setting something. But yes, we could, if we wanted to be really anal about it, we could make sure that this only gets done on
On
if input dot get button down fire 1. That's not really much of an optimization, but why not? If I find myself doing an optimization like that on a project when I'm actually trying to gain frames, I'm probably looking in the wrong place. But yeah, let's see if that still works as expected. It does. Laser turns on, laser turns off. Everything's cool. We're not running a whole bunch of stuff in the background with the exception of the input checks. So
Laser turns on, laser turns off. You can't explain that.
what? What's that from?
Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, okay. So we got some better movement stuff. We got some pretty lasers.
Yes, Willie, we should record that sound effect.
Pew pew pew. Which one?
That
one. Okay. We could probably add a pew sound. Now it's been an hour. Let's end it. All right. Save project. Let's do the Perforce thing. P4V.
Call it the Perforce dance.
We're gonna do the Perforce dance. Oops. Is this one? Yeah. Perforce.cookingwithunity.com. Password. Wouldn't you like to know?
And if it was old Perforce, it would have a little gimpy leg.
Go to planets. We're going to reconcile our offline work. I think we had a good episode tonight, especially for not having one in a while. I think that turned out pretty nice.
Yeah, there wasn't one for quite a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been
A little
weeks.
over a month.
Has it been a month? Really? How?
The last one was the 6th of last month, I think.
Well,
Was it? I thought the last one was the 16th of last month.
I don't know.
Huh, maybe it was. I don't know.
Can't remember.
Whatever. So here's what we changed. That looks good. We're going to call this space movement plus physics plus some laser stuff.
Times.
Times some
what?
laser stuff.
Yeah.
Times stuff. Multiple.
All right. And
Divide.
that will do it.
Addition.
So
Subtraction.
thank you for joining us. Glad you could make it. Seriously, thanks for watching as usual. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you have any questions, please email me at pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me at Drakfire. You can also leave comments or whatever, but the most reliable way to get me is probably email, and the most public way to get me is Twitter. So, for whatever that's worth.
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter if you want to. It's at Magmalemur. You can send me an email, Philip@Protosoftworks. And you should donate to Cooking with Unity.
Yes, and you should also buy Phil's game Robot Alone.
It's a game.
And it is a game. And yeah, so you guys have a great one. Did you have anything that you wanted to add, or no? All right, cool. Thanks for watching. See you on Thursday. Definitely doing another show on Thursday. We're gonna try and get back into the doing this twice a week thing. So, thank you very much, and you have a great night.
Have a good night.